Moving away from Uganda, the Nigerian government has set up a tactical committee to review its no work, no pay stance against striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU. The decision comes after the meeting of the Education Minister Adamu with pro-chancellors, chairmen of councils, as well as vice-chancellors of universities yesterday.
Now, the meeting was part of efforts to resolve the 7-month industrial action by lecturers of public universities. The committee has also been mandated to look into issues of increase in the salaries of the university lecturers and come up with workable solutions. But one issue that seems to be of major concern is that the 14-man committee were not given a specific timeline to submit its findings.
Another question is, has the committee jettisoned the recommendations of the Professor Nini Briggs-led committee, which was earlier set up by the federal government on Monday, March 7th, 2022? And of course, these are some of the talking points, from all the chaos that is, I don't know if to call it chaos, but
chaos
the confusion,
point, really. It is chaos because
between ASUU and the federal government.
Right now, it's been a back and forth war of words. You said, I said, and the students are the ones suffering for it. Of course, the lecturers as well are suffering because the government had, said that it was initially going to be a no work, no pay stance. And so lots of lecturers haven't been paid in all this time that they've been on strike. And the students, I shouldn't call them the children, students are the ones who are suffering from this. I remember the time that we had the conversation about this, I talked about how what we fail to see is the ripple effect that this unfortunate strike is going to have, not just on the students, but on us as a society, because these students who were meant to have spent a certain time frame in school will come out much later to a working environment that would require them to have been of a certain age and have had a certain level of experience, which the strikes that they've had to experience will unfortunately not afford them. So, for example, in the banking sector, they want you to be a 25-year-old, not more than 25-year-old with maybe 2 years work experience, 2 to 3. Where are you supposed to get it? When you have spent more than half the time you ought to have spent in school on strike. So we're having more unemployed people, and it's just really an unfortunate scenario.
I understand it's not the first time we're hearing about no work, no pay. It's been used for other strike actions in the past. But I'm just, mostly concerned with, and it's a quick reminder also, to Nigerians and to everyone who has been following this issue, the fact that we really have gone months and months and months without universities, being open. And to be honest, there might be arguments on the federal government side, but it still just doesn't make any sense to me that they have allowed it to go on for that long.
February 14th and today
till what, September 7th? They've allowed it to go on for that long. There are certain things that you do not play with. There are certain things that you do not, if you value them well enough, you would do whatever it takes. I'm sure that Nigerians will be able to tell when, ASUU is now just being overzealous or being greedy or being, misbehaving basically. But I still don't see that ASUU's demands are on that level where the federal government can say, oh, these are completely, impossible. We cannot even negotiate. We can't even have any discussions, and we would allow you to be on strike for as long as possible. There's concerns about the kids and there are concerns about the lecturers, concerns about the universities, but are these demands so tough that we've allowed the strike to go on for so long? Is that the Nigerian government does not have any money anywhere, not even in a little colo under their bed
the
somewhere?
Money, please, the money, we have elections coming up, so every money that's available now is, kept for the elections. We can't be discussing about such matters when we have 2023 elections. And
it's also a good opportunity for whoever it is that is coming into government in 2023 to start to have a rethink about the funding of education. Because in other countries, universities aren't solely funded by the government. They have a grant, that they receive from, from the state or from the, local government, from the federal government.
And there's even opportunities for students themselves to be able to pay, after a certain time. We might not be getting there anytime soon, where they say, okay, you can work.
Student loans.
And student loans, work and pay over time. I don't see us getting there anytime soon. We have a poll that we're coming up, but we must inform you that the new committee's report is out, and it will, of course, be submitted and we'll be bringing you updates about this as well. Now, the poll says Nigeria's government announces a 23.5% salary increase for striking university workers. Should ASUU take it or reject it? 77% people think yes, ASUU should take it. 23% think no, ASUU should not take it. And of course, it's I don't even know how to feel about this because we've been on this. But like I mentioned earlier, the new committee's report is out and it will be submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari, and we certainly will be bringing you the updates. And we hope that it's not just going to be a word of mouth submission and that actions will be taken on it, because there's been a distrust of Saudi. Between 1999 and now, we've had at least 16 strikes in Nigeria by ASUU, and there's some form of distrust between the people and the government. Part of the strike demands was for the government to meet the demands held by, the demands that they had, or the agreements that they had reached
far back as 2009,
and it wasn't implemented. They're talking about revamping of our universities, increment of salaries. The demands are, are fair, to be honest. Some would argue that they are fair. But let us know what your thoughts are on this. The polls are still on Twitter at News Central TV.